I experienced a roller coaster of emotions when my son was born. Many different emotions, one after another. During my wife's pregnancy, I was ridiculously excited about the prospect of becoming a dad. On the big day, I'd imagined that everything would go smoothly and we'd be blissfully happy, but there were complications during the delivery, and my wife had to have emergency surgery while I waited in the reception area, worried sick. Very worried. As time went by, I got increasingly anxious because the doctors weren't telling me anything. After 2 hours, I was seething with anger, ready to explode with anger. And I shouted at one of the nurses. Then the security guards came and escorted me out of the hospital. My wife was visibly disappointed. It was obvious that she was disappointed, that I wasn't by her side when she woke up from surgery. She didn't say anything. She's not really one to show her feelings. She prefers to bottle up her emotions, keep her emotions hidden inside her. But I knew I had let her down, and I was terribly sorry that I had lost my temper, lost control, and shown anger. The months that followed were tough. My wife became deeply depressed, and I too was an emotional wreck, a person who is very sad, confused, and upset, as I tried to juggle the demands of work and family life. But now things are starting to turn around. I've been pleasantly surprised at all the help we've gotten from our friends and neighbors. I'm just immensely grateful that my wife and son are healthy, and sometimes I'm overwhelmed with emotion as I reflect on how lucky we are, when emotion is so strong that it's difficult to think or speak.
Now listen and repeat to practice your pronunciation of the collocations in this lesson. A roller coaster of emotions. Ridiculously excited. Blissfully happy. Worried sick. Increasingly anxious. Seething with anger. Visibly disappointed. Show her feelings. Bottle up her emotions. Terribly sorry. Lost my temper. Deeply depressed. An emotional wreck. Pleasantly surprised. Immensely grateful. Overwhelmed with emotion. Lesson 6. Houses and Apartments. I recently spent a month on vacation, but instead of staying in a hotel, I looked for a short-term rental, a place to live that can be rented for a short period of time. I ended up sharing a 2-bedroom apartment. That's an apartment with 2 bedrooms, a living room, and a kitchen, with some friends. It was actually cheaper than renting a studio apartment, an apartment with only 1 big room, all by myself. The apartment was on the top floor of a 5-story building. That's a building with 5 floors. And it had a balcony overlooking the ocean. That means you can see the ocean from the balcony. From the roof, we also had a nice view of the city skyline. This is another expression used when you can see something from a certain place. The apartment had recently been remodeled or renovated, meaning it was fixed up and improved, and was fully furnished, so it already had furniture, beds, tables, etc., and appliances, refrigerator, stove, etc. We loved the spacious living room. The room was big, but unfortunately the bedrooms were rather cramped, small, and uncomfortable. It was nice to spend a month there, but by the end of the trip I started to feel homesick. That's when you feel sad because you miss your life at home. I'd really like to have a place of my own so that I'm not throwing away money on rent every month, but there's a real shortage of affordable housing, houses or apartments that are reasonably priced, in my city. Even if I stay away from the upscale neighborhoods, areas where rich people live, I'd still have to take out a mortgage, borrow money from the bank in order to buy a house, and it will take me more than 30 years to pay it off. But still, I'm going to start saving up for a down payment, an initial payment on a big purchase. Someday, when I do move into a new place, I'll be sure to throw a housewarming party, a party to celebrate living in a new house or apartment. Let's practice the pronunciation of the collocations in this lesson. Short-term rental. 2-bedroom apartment. Studio apartment. 5-story building. Overlooking the ocean. Had a nice view of. Recently been remodeled. Recently been renovated. Fully furnished. Spacious living room. The bedrooms were rather cramped. Feel homesick. Have a place of my own. Affordable housing. Upscale neighborhoods. Take out a mortgage. Pay off the mortgage. Down payment. Move into a new place. Throw a housewarming party.